Well, hi all, well, big welcome back to the channel. Well, yep, it's been another busy week, so let's have a look and see how we're getting on. So I've only just driven down the road about 20 minutes to this company here, Rock Solid. They're a graphics company because obviously we need some graphics for the truck. And I've actually mocked up what we're after. Izzy's in agreement, surprisingly. She likes the design. And so I've just given the design to these guys and they're going to cost it up, and hopefully it won't be too expensive. There's a good chance that I might actually be fitting this myself, so God knows what it's going to turn out like. But yeah, if you've done these sorts of graphics before, you know it's not a cheap exercise.
So just in terms of the graphics that Phil was just talking about, there is a requirement if you are converting a van or a truck or anything into what you want to be a motorhome or a camper van from the DVLA to have what they term to be motorhome or camper van style stickers or decals graphics on the outside. And without those, you won't be able to make that change on the V5 to have your van or your truck classed as a motor caravan. You might not anyway, because they're notoriously difficult about things like that, but you have to have the stickers at least to give yourself a chance. We were lucky because we had quite a strong idea about what we wanted, but there is a bewildering array of styles and colours. You can have a full wrap, you can have a single sticker, you can have more than one, and it can be quite hard to decide. Everywhere we go, we say, oh, we like that, oh no, we like that, oh no, we like that more. And so it was quite challenging just to come up with something that we were happy with, although we know we wanted the topography, the map lines. I have to say the company that we use, Rock Solid, they do actually have a company called Cool Camper Graphics, where you can look at online, and they will come all over the country to fit your graphics. They will design them for you, they will print them for you, they will come and fit them for you. They also do, they have another company called Limitless Stickers where you can buy them yourself and fit them yourself, and that was an option that we also considered going down. And I have to say, if you are looking for graphics, check them out because they have been so good to work with. We really enjoyed the process.
I've just been measuring and templating this ply this morning. This has gone on the floor. I've just done all the cutouts on the sides for the cabling. I've just varnished it actually, just to seal it. So two sides sealed. It's going to go in, and then that's done. Again, it's something else we can just forget about. I lay a 50 by 50 treated batten floor, measure and cut insulation to size, and as you can see, this will facilitate the wet on the floor heating. The existing floor is already 120 millimeters thick, so one thing's for sure, we won't be cold. With the seat frames and shower tray in place, you can start to see the interior form taking shape. Back on the graphics, we spent a couple of hours with Rock Solid, tweaking and finalising our design. The team gave us loads of time and advice, as well as a walk around the workshop. Right, Iz, what have we got then?
Well, this is what our graphics are going to look like when they're put on next week.
Will we share? Will we share?
Yes.
And this is the company doing them, Rock Solid. Right, Iz, what are we looking at?
We're looking at the proofs for the graphics that are going on next week.
So we were out yesterday, had a really good sit-down chat with Nathan. He's an absolute whiz on Adobe.
Oh, he is.
And design.
I had Adobe envy.
They give us lots of time. Really, really good team there. Yeah, so this is us now looking through the proofs, ready just to sort of sign them off really. So yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
And back at the yard, yet another small job of cutting and cleaning up the top of the aluminium seats, which will allow the heat from the radiators to escape. So I've got my floor down, but this is only temporary, and I had to get the floor down because we had to take the truck down to the cabinet maker, thankfully not too far from here, so he could have a quick assessment and have a quick look before we order any cabinets. Now, we've obviously designed all the cabinets. We know exactly what we want. We know the materials, we know the sizes, and exactly where everything's going to go. And that's fine, and I'll talk about the cabinets for another day. But obviously the flooring has to come up because I've yet to get down all the services in terms of the hot and cold feeds, the drainage and so on. But not just that, it's a really good exercise because right now I'm actually going to site exactly where the hot and cold feeds are going to come through. I've already sort of drilled some of the cabling coming through, the toilet fan, for example, for the separate tiny. And of course, over here, this run here, this is actually going to be boxed in. There's going to be a little stud wall there, and that's actually going to do a number of things. It's going to accommodate the electrical cable, but it's also going to accommodate the sort of back shower wall, if you like. So all the plumbing and a sort of a bit of ply really, so I can affix the controls to. So one of the jobs, and this is the thing about all of this, it is incredibly fragmented, because I'm going to sort of stop this at some point, jump on the roof and put the Starlink, mount the Starlink onto the roof, because the cable needs to run through as well, and clearly that needs to be within the void space. So it's just it is a process that you have to go through. You've got to sort of stop one job to do another, and then come back to this, and that's fine. That's just the way it is. As long as you're sort of moving forward all the time, then you know, I'm happy with that. So I mentioned ages ago that we'd ordered a low profile mount for the Starlink. Well, we've got that. It's here. It's incredibly light. It is, yeah, low profile. It came off eBay. It came off a chap on eBay who 3D prints them, and yeah, I think I'll do the job. So anyway, back to the floor. So you can see here, I've got my little simulated sort of stud wall here, and that's the shower tray, because I've got to work out where the waste has to go. And under here, obviously, we've got some joists, if you like, some sort of stud work within the floor, and clearly the drainage has to run within that. So it's actually going to come out of there, run down here, and then into the sort of center point just about here where the drain is. And obviously that'll be under the floor, but there is a huge amount of working out at this stage. So it's absolutely critical that I spend time at this stage trying to get things right. I'm talking about the drainage runs, you know, the electrics, making sure that everything is right, because once the cabinet tray is in, you know, once this floor's down, the cabinet's on top of that and everything's in, the last thing you want to do whenever you test and obviously are living in the vehicle is to have a problem, because then you're ripping stuff out and it'll never be the same again. So I'm really happy to sort of take my time and make sure things are right before we proceed. So I just want to try and put this into some sort of context. So what we have is basically we've got the kitchen sink here, we've got the washing machine here, obviously we've got the shower, and right to the right we've got our toilet with a little hand basin in here. Now the toilet is a compost toilet, so we're not bothered about that. But obviously onto the floor we need the drainage to be right for that, and the drainage really will take priority over the hot and cold feeds. So that's pretty essential that we get that right. So that's where I'm at in terms of getting my head around it and just thinking precisely where those hot and cold feeds are going to come up, where the drainage is going to come down for the kitchen sink, for example, and obviously the washing machine. Clearly the shower, because there's quite a big flow rate from the shower. And then within this area here, it's just about here, that is the drainage, the sort of center point of the vehicle. All right, that's where the drainage will actually discharge the box itself. And there's going to be another stud wall behind the toilet, because I've got my header tank going in just up here. Well, morning guys. Well, big day today. We've got the guys here from Rock Solid Graphics, and today is transformation day. As with most jobs of this nature, it's all in the prep, and the guys set about cleaning the surface, ready for the graphics. Yep, we've gone with the topography theme again, but totally different to our last truck. Whilst the guys are getting on with the graphics, I've got another job to be getting on with. If you remember, when I got the box, it was full of this shelving, and there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm going to upcycle some of this aluminium profile for the top of the rack. I think it'll look really well. There's nothing wrong with it, so it makes perfect sense. Whilst I do a bit on the inside,
the guys are cracking on with the other side of the habitation box. This isn't a single piece of vinyl. Each topography line has been cut out on the machine and left on the backing paper. They really do make it look easy. I tidy the welds on the cab frame before it goes in for powder coating. Stephen has already drilled the holes for the aluminium deck and the LED light bar.
Well, I'm absolutely delighted with the graphics. Craig and Callum have just left and I think they've done a superb job. I'm really happy with them. So if you are in the market for graphics to go anywhere in the country, contact Rock Solid. Well, as you can probably tell right now, I'm under the truck. I'm at the point of connecting up the waste underneath and it's just about to get solvent welded, but it's a one-handed job. How on earth I'm going to do it, I don't quite know yet. I haven't worked it out. Yeah, it's tight. It's really tight, but I've got the fall that I need, which is good. I've got enough flex in the pipe to allow for the articulation, which is also vitally important. And yeah, that's about it. So all the workings out are done. It's just a case of gluing everything together. Okay, so the waste is in. I'm really happy with it. It's all solvent welded up. The run between the shower and the point of discharge is actually pretty minimal, which is good. Same again with the sink. The sink in the toilet isn't going to get that much water down it anyway. And we're pretty good at, you know, getting rid of solids. We don't just chuck everything down the kitchen sink. So yeah, I'm confident that that is another job ticked off the list, and it's connected underneath as well to the waste tank. So that's it done. On top of that, I've got my gas in just here. I've also, if I swing round, obviously I'm thinking about my shower as well, but in this area here is going to be our toilet, and that needs a vent as well. So at some point, I'm going to dig out the toilet, have a look at exactly where I need to drill the hole for that, and then go from there. Well, it's been a morning of figuring out. I've been drilling a couple of holes. Basically, from a safety point of view, directly below the oven, we need ventilation. So I've really simply, I just lean down and get this. I've got a bit of 40mm pipe. I've drilled 2 holes, and I've got a couple of little vents which just pop on the top, which are really handy. That sleeve through the floor all the way, and basically that's it, flush with the laminate flooring. All right, and then obviously that'll go outside, and if there was a problem with gas being heavier than air, then obviously that can escape. I've also got, I had to make provision for gas in, obviously for the gas oven and the hob, and then as well as that, we've got a requirement on the other side for our separate tiny toilet, okay, because that needs a vent. So I'm just in the process of sort of figuring that out, getting stuff in the boxes, and lots of measuring, and hopefully when the floor goes down, that's it, everything's in the right place, and I'm not faffing about lifting the floor again. Well, as always, there's still lots happening. We actually had the bars, the cap bars, collected this morning. They've gone off to get powder coated. That'll take about 10 days, and I'm really looking forward to getting those back and getting those on, because when they're on, it just transforms the whole look of the truck. In amongst everything inside, I've got 2 doors to get on here actually. The 2 doors in front of the rear wheels. Got to get the hinges on the doors, the handles fitted to within the doors, and obviously get those fitted. And it's you know, it's not a difficult job, but it's all time. But once those are on and the cab bars are on, the only thing really outside then is the bike rack. And the bike rack is a bit of a sort of working project. The guys here had an old tail lift which has been chopped down because I want the runners off that for the tail lift. I don't want everything else, I just want the runners, and then we'll fabricate the rest of the bike rack around that. And I've actually bought a 2,000 kilogram winch for that as well. So that really, it'll just be a sort of center pull up and down a couple of rails, and we'll go from there. And obviously that'll go off and get powder coated as well. So I'm going to stop talking because I could talk all day on this thing. Time for lunch.
I drill an additional 2 holes for the 19mm Eberspacher water heater flow and return pipework. It exits the box near to where the diesel heater will be housed, in the side locker beside the fuel tank with its new shiny door. And yep, all the locks have been keyed the same and the internal seals have also been fitted. It's delivery day, time to unwrap the slot, but we need to keep the packaging because it's got to get sent straight back. Right, here's what we got.
We've got the foam for our cushions, our upholstery seating area. So the company that we're using, the Caravan Upholstery Centre in Bristol, they actually send the foam out cut to make sure it fits before they actually start to make the covers, which is a really good option because if you're a bit dodgy on measuring, like I might be sometimes, it means that you can check that they work first. Right, I'm doing all the hard work as usual.
Oh. How's it looking?
Perfect. Lengthwise, yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Wow, it's big. I want to sit on it.
Well, you can't at the minute.
I think that would actually be all right. I might collapse through it, but I'm not sure it's that heavy. We were slightly worried about them being too big because I have to lift them off to get to the storage underneath, but we didn't really want them to be in 2 parts. Ah, that's a bit short there.
It is.
Okay.
It is. It's 30mm too short.
Yep, okay. Well, we know that.
Go on then, Izzy.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, you like?
I do. Yeah.
Suddenly gives a real sort of feel of
It does.
what
And
we're going to
actually,
have.
Phil, you were right about the back there. Just get that on camera. That's plenty deep enough, actually.
Well, I was right.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But I want to sit on my side. Hang on. Just let me see how it feels to put my feet up. Yeah. Oh my God. That is the perfect height.
Come this way.
No,
Don't put your
fall
feet.
through
Yeah.
it. You just want to get that on camera.
So in amongst the chaos that is behind Izzy, surrounding Izzy, we have the start of what I think is going to be something lovely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Really happy with that, actually. Well, I'm really excited to be opening this separate tiny compost toilet. We had one before and we absolutely loved it, and there was no question that we were going to have the same again. And it's just a thing of beauty, and it's so simple to use, and we rate it highly actually. And if you watch we've done a video on it already, and this one has come from Woo Woo Waterless Toilets, and they've been brilliant. They're such an easy company to deal with. I just can't wait to be on the road again sort of using this, because it's just so simple, and I just can't praise this toilet enough. In fact, I would go as far to say, of all the upgrades we did on our last truck, this, even after the years of traveling, this was our best upgrade to date.
You're probably wondering why I'm unboxing it, but it's essential to understand the exact location for the ventilation tube, which will exit through the floor, so provision must be made before I lay the floor. All this toilet needs is a vent and a 12-volt power supply for the fan, which by the way is incredibly quiet. So with the hole drilled, we're ready for the installation.
Well, it's a Sunday afternoon, the yard is closed, and I've taken the opportunity to bring back the aluminium surround that the rubber bellow for the cut through affixes to. It's got, or had, 1 coat of paint. I'm going to give it a 2nd coat of paint, and what I'm trying to figure out is how exactly it's all going to come together. How is it going to be affixed to the body, and then that quick release to the cab, because what you clearly need the ability to be able to tilt the cab. It also has to withstand wind pressure, and clearly it's there for the articulation. So I'm trying to work out how am I going to achieve this. I've got a few ideas, because I want it to be fairly straightforward, really simple, keep it as simple as possible, and I really want it to be a sort of a 20-second, maybe a 30-second at the most process, whereby that mechanical fix is a couple of little sort of nylon twist locks or some sort of quick release. Haven't quite figured that out yet. Hopefully it'll become clear probably about 2 o'clock tomorrow morning, when I'm trying to sort of, should be sleeping. So we shall see. But for now, second coat of paint. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching and all the support, and we'll see you next time round. Bye for now.